The Minions movies are nothing but pure chaos wrapped in yellow, but even these banana-munching troublemakers couldn't hide all their blunders. From disappearing stuff to wacky timelines, here are 20 wild mistakes that'll crack you up. Number 1. Color-changing girl. When Otto strolls along with the Zodiac amulet, there is a background blooper that is hard to ignore once you catch it. A little girl in a bright yellow dress is clearly black in one shot, but when the kids pop back up moments later, that same girl is suddenly white while still rocking the same outfit. It is not a new character, just the same one magically switching shades. For such a polished film, this slip-up is hilariously obvious. Number 2. Kevin's different eye color. Kevin is one of the easiest minions to spot with his tall build and those 2 big eyes, but even he gets caught in a little movie magic mix-up. Sometimes his eyes look totally brown, and other times they suddenly take on a greenish tint. It is not the lighting playing tricks either, it just randomly happens, like he is secretly trying out colored contacts. It's like the animators accidentally gave him a style upgrade mid-scene. Number 3. The mysterious duct tape. At VillainCon, Bob is desperate to prove he is just as bad as the big villains, so he grabs a roll of duct tape to spice up his teddy bear. Cute gag, sure, but here is the catch. The table he is standing at had no tape at all in the earlier shots. It just pops into existence like the animators dropped it in at the last second. It's funny for the joke, but for eagle-eyed viewers, it feels like a sneaky continuity slip. Number 4. Gru's age. The Minions movies love bending timelines, but Gru's age mix-up is one of the funniest. So initially, we're told he was born in 1960, so during the moon landing in 1969, he would have been 9. That adds up fine. But in The Rise of Gru, he is shown as a little kid watching Jaws in theaters, which came out in 1975. By then, he should have been 15, not a tiny child, making the timeline totally confusing. Number 5. Different knife angles. During the car ride with the quirky criminal family, the mother is shown slicing apples with a knife. At first glance, everything seems normal until you pay attention to the knife handle. In one shot, the curved handle points upward, but in the very next angle, it suddenly flips downward without any logical reason. The knife itself did not change, and she was not shown turning it. It is a small detail, but impossible to ignore. Number 6. Kevin and Stuart's arrival at the intercom. Sometimes the movies get a little jumpy with the editing, like they just skipped a step. When Kevin and Stuart are sneaking around during the villain's scheme, they suddenly pop up at the store intercom without us ever seeing how they got there. It feels less like sneaky spy work and more like they unlocked the Minion version of teleportation. The missing in-between bit makes the whole scene feel rushed, almost like someone accidentally fast-forwarded past an important moment. Number 7. Stuart's disappearing arrows. Scarlet Overkill's spin on the Big Bad Wolf story is already pretty wild, but it gets even funnier if you watch Stuart closely. While he is dressed as one of the 3 pigs, he gets smacked with a bunch of arrows that stick right out of his back. But blink and you will miss it, because in the very next shot, the arrows are completely gone. No pulling them out, no sneaky cutaway, not even a goofy gag to explain it. They just vanish into thin air. Number 8. The 4-stick nunchaku. Nunchaku, one of the coolest members of the Vicious Six, is known for her awesome weapon skills, but in one chase scene, her nunchaku suddenly looks totally wrong. Instead of the usual 2 sticks connected by a chain, it turns into 4 sticks spinning around like a crazy carnival ride. It does not look like a weapon at all, more like the animators cranked the motion blur too far, slow it down and the mistake is obvious, more like a messy doodle than a fighting tool. Number 9. Bob's goggles material. So in the boat scene, Bob's goggles are shining all golden like brass, super fancy, but the second they get to shore, boom, suddenly they're silver like steel. No swapping scene, no funny gag, just a straight up switcheroo. And because the goggles are basically the Minions' trademark look, it sticks out big time. It almost feels like Bob wanted a quick style change without telling anyone, like he thought gold for sailing, silver for walking. Number 10, time fluctuation. One of the funniest things about the Minions movies is how they cannot stick to one time period. The story is supposed to be all groovy 60s, but then out of nowhere you see 70s hairstyles or gadgets that do not exist yet. Even the music jumps around like the Minions raided someone's random mixtape. Nobody is here for a history lesson. But the mix-ups make the timeline all messy. Instead of 60s vibes, it ends up feeling like a wobbly, chaotic mashup. Number 11, daylight to darkness transition. Scarlet Overkill's coronation escape is already crazy, but the lighting makes it even funnier. One second it is bright daylight with clear skies and perfect shadows, and the next, bam, total nighttime darkness like someone just flipped a switch. No sunset, no hint of time passing, nothing to make it make sense. Instead of suspense, you are left wondering who forgot to turn off the sun. Number 12, the license plate mix-up. During the hitchhiking sequence, two very different vehicles end up sharing the same license plate number. One is a colorful hippie van, while the other belongs to an elderly woman. Both display identical plates, which is impossible in real life because each car must have a unique registration. It is the kind of mistake that might slide past casual viewers, but becomes very noticeable for those who pay attention. Number 13, Minions' no-nose oxygen logic. One of the weirdest things about Minions is how they actually breathe, and it gets extra funny when Scarlet Overkill tapes their mouth shut. They have no visible noses, yet they do not gasp, choke, or freak out. They just keep doing their thing like oxygen is optional. It makes for a hilarious gag, but if you think about it, it makes zero sense. Number 14, Bob's disappearing lunchbox. There is a cute little moment where Bob is proudly holding a lunchbox with his teddy tucked inside, showing just how much he treasures that bear. But the second the villain family gives them a ride and the minions start climbing into the car, poof, the lunchbox is gone. It is one of those blink and you notice slip-ups that makes you go, wait, where did it go? The poor lunchbox basically got erased, leaving the whole scene a little uneven and distracting. Number 15, Mystery Tree Shadow. Otto is out having the time of his life playing with kids in the sunshine, everything bright and happy, and then boom, he falls, and suddenly a massive tree shadow shows up like it just spawned out of nowhere. No tree in sight before, no warning, just instant shade mode. It is like the animators hit a light switch mid-scene. Instead of worrying about Otto's fall, you are stuck wondering where this magic teleporting tree came from. Number 16, American-style fire hydrant in London. The Minions movies love bouncing around the world, but they sometimes mess up small details. In a London street scene, Kevin uses a bright red fire hydrant to handle TNT. Looks fine at first, but American-style hydrants do not exist in the UK. London has different designs, so it sticks out badly. It feels like the animators just reused a familiar prop, leaving viewers who know London rolling their eyes. Number 17, Gru meets Dr. Nefario. Gru and Dr. Nefario's backstory is one of the biggest head-scratchers in the Minions timeline. In the first movie, little Gru is already hanging out with a younger Nefario at the villain convention, which makes it seem like they go way back. But then, the rise of Gru completely flips the script, showing them meeting for the very first time. Nefario even hands over Gru's first gadget like it were a fresh start. Both versions clash hard, leaving their history hilariously confusing. Number 18, Vicious 6 poster. Bob sneaks into Gru's room after a nightmare, and the walls are decked out with posters of the Vicious 6, including a giant Knuckles one hanging right above Gru's head. It perfectly shows how much Gru idolizes these villains. But then Kevin shows up to comfort Bob, and suddenly that big Knuckles poster just disappears like magic. No tearing it down, no funny gag, just gone. It is such an obvious slip that you cannot unsee once you notice it, making the scene unintentionally funny. Number 19, Otto's speed bath. Otto takes a hilarious tumble into the mud and ends up absolutely covered from head to toe. The slapstick works perfectly, but then the movie does something bizarre. Seconds later, he zips down a playground slide and pops out completely spotless, like the slide somehow doubled as a deluxe washing machine. Realistically, a slide might knock off a little dirt, but not scrub him squeaky clean. That sudden glow up feels like the animators hit a reset button a little too quickly. Number 20, British currency decimal inaccuracy. The Minions movies are not exactly aiming for perfect history, but the money detail in the London setting is a funny slip. The story takes place in 1968, yet the film shows modern pounds and pence like today's decimal system. The problem is Britain did not switch until 1971. Back then it was all shillings and farthings, so the modern currency sticks out and messes with the timeline. And that's all for today. Which of these mistakes stood out to you? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next episode.